Hey there folks, I wanted to do a little video live demonstration of something that I've been doing recently, which is these little gnome carvings. I've seen a couple of them on my feed recently, and I thought, gosh, those would be really cool for Valentine's Day or just, a general gnome carving. So I'm not using a stencil for these. Normally, you guys know me for making lots of stencils. These guys are just so simple that, make them out of a 1x1. Just give you an overview, we're under this new woodshed. There's no wood in here yet, but we're gonna get there eventually. I gotta split it all, so yeah. Alright, and here is our carving situation right here. So I wear gloves for carving because I've had too many close calls with carving knives. So that hole right there, that's from a knife that took me, so I try to keep my pinky on the far end of that. Okay. So we're just going to take a 1x1, and I see this thing has a little blemish right here, so I'm going to set that towards the back end, right here. So what I kind of do is we're going to do something like this guy, maybe give him a mustache like this guy has. So we're going to go for that sort of design. Okay, so all it is, maybe right here, go like that. And tilt it downward. Then the nose will be pretty big right here. So there we go. Like this. Pretty big nose. Yeah, and I see how this could definitely lend itself to having a stencil. But for the time being, we don't have one. And then the hat, we're going to do something like that as well. So something like this. And, we'll do that. A little bit of a turnover at the top there. Okay, let's see if we can even this out a little bit more. And then we'll deal with the mustache when we get there. Alright, so for these knives, guys, usually these guys don't come with a sheath or anything. Just a little piece of cork will do. I learned that from Van Kelly, and this cork has been around for a couple months now. You see it's starting to crack, but it holds the knife in there pretty easily, pretty well, and yeah, it keeps my knife nice and safe. Alright, so to get carving on this guy, I'm going to do the side profile first. So start right here. There we go. And you don't need to follow that line exactly, just kind of get it where it needs to be, and then you can clean it up afterward. Okay, so this side, so first thing I'm going to do is a stop cut right here, so just rock it back and forth. The reason is I want to leave meat there for the hat. Okay, let's do the top of the hat a little bit. All right, and let's start on the front part of the hat. Right here and back. Okay, and the back side. This should be much easier than the front. Okay. Now let's work on the front part right here. So to make this nose, all I do is a stop cut at the bottom. And we want a pretty big nose. Kind of what makes these guys so distinct is that big button nose right there. So remember, you can always make it smaller. You cannot make it bigger. And then we just take that material off right there. Take a little bit more off. Okay. Let's see if those lines are good enough or if we need to change them up some. I think they'll work out. And what I like to do here is rock the knife as I go up to kind of give it that arch right there. All right, let me see if I can draw this out a little bit better. All right, I'm going to take my V tool. I'm going to outline that, so it's much easier for me to take my knife in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now, take that guy right there and start to shape that nose. Take that point off. All right, I'm going to score it a little bit deeper with the knife so I can get some more separation between that cloak and the beard. And the same thing on the other side. All right, and now I'm going to start to define the nose a little bit more. That's pretty good right there. Let's do the other side. It's a nice big fat nose it's going to have. All right, now let's round over this nose. Let's give it that shape. Tuck the nose a little bit more under that cloak. Feels like springtime right now. It's quite nice. Birds are singing, the weather's quite nice. There aren't any mosquitoes yet. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, this is what we're trying to carve. Something similar to this, a little gnome. So there's no stencil for this, it's just kind of a freehand carving. Okay, we're finishing up the nose here. And one of the secrets to really smooth carvings is going to be sanding it afterward, which I didn't bring a piece of sandpaper with me. I guess I should have. But that's how these carvings look so smooth, as I've taken some sandpaper to it, and it doesn't have all these facets, but you can see that the knife marks are kind of rounded over. So this guy is not going to look like that. Okay, let's really work on this hat now. And this is the toughest part right here, this end grain. If you've ever started carving, you'll know exactly what I mean. let's see what else we could do with this hat. So, it's looking pretty good. This guy needs to be fixed up right here. So I went a little bit too far on here, but that's okay. I'm gonna fix it by pulling back the rest of the material. Okay, and the same thing down here. And there's that blemish. Let's see how deep that goes. Oh, it's right there. It's just on the surface. That's nice. Sometimes you get those rot spots, and they kind of tend to go a little bit deeper. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it, man. It's always great to carve in front of an audience. It's like circus tricks, you know. Everybody's waiting to see what you're gonna do next. But hey, whatever, you know. I think I've done enough videos now that I feel less embarrassed to carve in front of other folks. And yeah, I mean, whatever. Todd, that Santa that you made, man, mad props to you, my friend. That looks amazing. If I could show you the the first Santa or the first face that I ever carved, it was hideous. Let alone it took me like 4 hours to carve. I'm curious how long it took you to carve that Santa. My Santas now take me, well, I think I did a video that was just under 2 hours. So they're not low effort, that's for sure. And this guy, it's just, you know, however much effort you want to put into it. These guys are super simple, and it really depends on how sharp your knife is. So these days I don't take my knives to any stone. I think that's a general consensus among carvers. It's just I strop like a madman. I think before I started this, I stropped this knife about 20 times on each side. No compound, just on the smooth leather. And it works pretty well. Okay, so let's not belabor this too much. Let's do that, the beard and mustache. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so something like this is what I'm going for. A little guy like that. So, let's see, let's do those first. What I like about this one is that it doesn't need to be perfect or symmetrical even. Yeah, 4 hours is about right for that carving. It wasn't too long ago that it took me 4, maybe plus hours. Yeah. Cool. All right, I think that's good right there. So I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna use the V tool for this one. So for all of them essentially, except for the mustache. All right. Okay. A little bit more on this guy. Good. And you could do this with a knife, but gosh, it honestly takes more skill to do a V-tool cut with a knife than just with a V-tool. But you get some really cool effects if you do it with a knife, because you can control the depth. So yeah. All right, so let's do this mustache right here. Okay, let's, how do I approach this? Right here. So you'll see me flip this around over and over again, and it's because I'm trying not to cut myself. Like this, when you're taking off small slivers like that, this basswood is so soft that, you know, the knife can really slip on you pretty easily. So I'm trying to avoid that at all cost. And I think I said it before that your left hand is really what carves these pieces. You know, if you're relying on pressure from your right hand, there's a good chance that you're going to end up slipping on that knife and have some sort of injury. So I learned that after slipping the knife multiple times. And I will always advocate for gloves, guys. Always, always, always. These are no-cry gloves, and I sprayed these with, gosh, what is that thing? That, oh, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, they sell it at Home Depot, and you can put extra grip on these gloves. Like the first 2 times, it takes a little bit of getting used to because they'll be extra tight. But after that, they tend to loosen up a little bit, and your hand fits in them pretty well, and then you get pretty good grip. And you may have to reapply a second or third coat after a couple months, but it's pretty nice. And these are the reinforced gloves, so like the thumb, index finger, and middle finger are reinforced. So if I were to slip the knife, it wouldn't hurt me too much right there. Okay, now the only thing that I want to do over here is I'm going to add a couple of folds into the hat. So something like that. Yeah. And I think they add a little something as opposed to just being a completely smooth hat. So I think what I'm going to do is do one over here, and like that. Maybe do another one like that. And maybe a third one like that. So pretty similar to what we have going already. For that other one, I mean. Okay, like this. This is the bad part about filming outside, is that you can't control when your neighbors are going to use their leaf blower. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and then this guy right here. And the same thing. Just undercut it so it looks like a fold, looks a little bit more organic. And take your knife like that. And then the trick is to shape the material around it. So you kind of had a completely flat surface, and if you just do those folds in it, it looks a little out of place. So you got to kind of see how I'm rolling that knife right behind that fold. So it's not a lot, but it does help kind of make it more realistic. All right, and now this guy over here. Let's see if we don't cut ourselves. All right. It's a nice clean cut. And so one thing to learn about this cut right here is that grain direction matters. I could absolutely go like this, but the knife is going to be going against the grain. So I choose to take the knife like this. So most of you guys know that, but it's something I wish I would have known a while ago. So here we go to the other side. You see that just peels right off without any tear out when you blow out. Say that as I mess that up at the end. Okay, now let's bring this down a little bit more. And that's looking pretty cool. And shape the back end of it. So guys, I'm thinking about doing more of these live presentations live carving demonstrations in the future. Let me know if you guys want to tune in, and if I should schedule them, or if I should just, you know, kind of up and do them out of the blue. Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to establish a good schedule in some cases, but I think I could probably plan it at least a day out. I think would be okay. All right, I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? So, yep, nothing too fancy, just a little gnome. So I'll take some sandpaper now, and we'll sand off all the rough edges. But that's a super simple gnome, and here are his friends. So yeah, there you go. Hope you guys enjoy, and hope that you guys carve your own. Thanks.